This is Godwin Meniro at the Homeland Farms. This is somewhere in Nigeria. I want to show you what I'll call an anatomy of a modern goat house. So bear with me as we go through the various phases. I'll try and put it as clearly as possible. All right, I'm looking at the beginning of a goat shed. This is going to provide different facilities for various phases of goat rearing. This is a pilot scheme, so we're going to start with a small number of animals, and then once we are done with our pilot scheme successfully, we'll then build a large capacity goat shed. So you're looking at a dwarf wall. Any modern agricultural program has to incorporate adequate safeguards to prevent bioterrorism. So this dwarf wall we can see here, running from here to here, isolates the goat rearing facility from casual visitors. We're going to install a reinforced iron gate here. So that's the first aspect. To the right, you're going to see what we call the goat house extension, but that's where we're going to house the male and female goats. That's the does and the bucklings. Dwelling and buckling, that's the correct term. At 2 to 3 months of age, that's where when they get separated from the mothers, because by 3 months the male goat, the buckling, might start mounting their sisters or cousins, the female goats, that's the dwellings, and we have to prevent inbreeding at all costs. I'm going to show you more of the building. Towards the left is the goat house, definitively. It's already roofed. I'm using 5 coaches of block to form the walls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 coaches of block. I thought of doing 6 coaches, putting on a 6th one, but that might limit the ventilation of the room. But there's always a risk that an aggressive goat might jump that height of the wall. But we'll raise it further if it becomes a problem. Or put in reinforced wire mesh guard for another 2 feet or 3 to make sure no goat jumps out of the building. This is a feature I've built in this project. The land is at a very steep incline, so I'm breaking up the topography to reduce flooding. So this, what you might call a levee, is going to hold back flood waters here. I already put a levee in front. This will act to keep waters in the preceding compound long enough for the water to be absorbed in the soil. But then if there's a real big flood, then it will allow water to come through these holes, rainwater. Because of that, I've had to put in a series of steps as we negotiate that. So this is the middle levee. Again, this will break flood water flow to aid the absorption. And this ground, we're going to use paving stones. We call them interlock blocks here in Nigeria. Again, while it's providing a smooth surface and clean surface for Breaking it.
No, I look, I will now look at the
Okay. So while it provides a smooth surface for the goats to exercise, because this is a goat exercise yard, it still allows absorption of water, rainwater, through the crevices and the joints of the laid floor. So again, this levee is going to delay it. Again, that's another levee at the end of this goat house complex. Does the same work. Again, we have steps. It got a bit dysfunctional at some stage, so I had to engineer a solution. So, especially for older folks. So I'm climbing up these stairs. Then I can land with 2 feet here. Then I can traverse into this building, or I can go down here. I see my young workers jumping from one to the other, but I got to think about older folks coming in here. Eventually, I might put a small rail here, which will arch up, just to show the incoming person that there might be a void there. Then we have this bridge for access to the wind feed and wind buck or buckling and dwelling rooms. We'll come back to it. So this bridge also is traversed by humans. Okay. You see the young guy jumping, but an older person will not do that. So that's why we have this widened landing for passage from here over to here. Okay, let me go back and take another view of the goat house. Right, that's the definitive goat house. It's already roofed, but at the end it's left open because it's going to connect to the next building that is under construction right now. All right, let's go up the stairs and enter the goat house. At this point, again, we're going to have a gate. So that's a provision that is made for the concrete column that will carry the gate. The gate will shut off access to this place. So as you come in, immediately you'll see this void here. That's where we're going to form the foot bath. It's going to form at this section. Then there's going to be a discharge pipe that goes into this drain. We're going to look at that drain again. This drain runs the entire length of the building. Turning to the entrance, this is going to be a sink for washing utensils. Just like a lot of things in Nigeria, we tend to build with a cement blocks. These ones are solid 6-inch cement block that's forming the wall. We have a drainage point here, which is being formed to discharge water through a pipe that was laid under the concrete floor and will discharge at the back of the building. We're going to see it, but from that point it will then discharge into the septic tank. So this is again you might call it a mop basin, instrument basin, but that's for the staff to use in washing any mops or instruments they use here. Again, that's where the tap supplying the bath will come from. You can see the plumbing going on All right, so here again will be the drainage channel, which is going to connect what I've already shown you. This will allow fluid wastewater coming from washing of the floors to be channeled into this drain. We're going to install brakes to prevent the flood water. Maybe put in a channel here, a line of maybe 3-inch concrete shelf to prevent water from flowing from this area into that goat pen. All right, so this particular goat pen runs from one end to the other. I think it's about 6 meters long and 3 meters wide. I estimate it may contain at least 15 to 20 does, that's female goats. I always try to use the scientific term, so bear with me, but the doe, D-O-E, doe is the name given to the female goat. So I should have about 15 to 20 goats here, plus 1 or 2 males. Again, we don't need that high proportion of males in the room, but just to make sure we have a good conception rate. That's probably from medicine. Conception rate. We are putting in 2 bucks to serve the 15 to 20 does here. We'll talk about this next compartment, but let's finish here. So I'm going to the beginning of the main goat house. So we're looking down this side. Just in front, we're going to see another setup here. This is going to be their drink basin. Note that all the basins we are going to build here will be tiled. They're going to be tiled with ceramic tiles to reduce absorption of water and also make it more sanitary. We'll come over to that later. And from here you will sight the stopcock or valve to shut off water flow from the bottom. And that's what we're going to be using to empty that basin at least twice a day. So it will be emptied and refilled. While we're here, let's look at the drainage. From that drainage point, it's connecting to a pipe under the concrete floor. And that pipe goes to the back of the house. So let's have a look at that pipe now. Alright, that's the back of the floor. Then you can see all those pipes. We'll probably go behind if I remember to show you where they're coming out. But these are all the drainage pipes coming to the floor and will eventually enter the septic tank, which you can see the beginning of. Let me come and show you a better view of the septic tank. So that's the septic tank with a sockaway pit for this section, but for the piggery, which is the next section you can see in the distance, we're not going to talk about it. Its drainage channel is different and it's going to service the biodigester. And then soapy water will go to, or water with chemicals will go into a septic tank that is also being built at the end of the floor, at the end of the plot. This is kind of a hodgepodge of supporting structures. Whereas the builder did not think this was important at the beginning, we had to put in this supporting steel pillar. That's why it's not like the concrete pillar here, because the span was considered too long by the carpenter who did the roofing. Although the wood is being braced here, but it feels like it still reinforces the support by having this pillar here. So that's why we have to put in this steel column to hold it. Again, you'll see the same arrangement here. Steel column holding that part of the roof. Again, you see another steel column at that end. Then you now have concrete columns. Not the best executed, but it's still functional enough. And then the wooden rafters that's holding the zinc roof. I believe with this height we have a very good aeration and ventilation of this space. So let's approach that valve a bit closer. Everything I'm showing you is self-explanatory, but we're going to tile this basin. We're trying to slope it so that water will flow from here to the end. It's a bit high, and we're also going to take up the end of this wall further on because it's very shallow at that point. And then there is a concrete bench for the goats to stand on while drinking. I know they're going to try and get into this pool of water. That's how they behave. So later on, based on our experience, we might put in some restraining devices that will shoot out from the wall and maybe overhang that basin so that the goats don't jump onto it. But they might decide to then jump onto the top of the restraining wall. It's kind of a losing game. So the aim is to house the adult female goats, the does, in this building. They become adult and ready to reproduce by 9 months. But it's also specified that their weight should be at least 80 to 90 pounds. But this is where we house them with the 2 box. And then, when they get pregnant, when we see that all or most have gotten pregnant, we'll then remove the box. Initially, I planned for the box to be in a room measuring 3 meters by 3 meters. From here to here, back to this point, and then connecting here. But then we now decided to put in that passage that will connect this hall with the piggery. And so we've had to narrow this space. This might still take at least 1 buck or 2. But eventually this will actually be where we'll put in the doe and her kids on the day of delivery. Again, I'm jumping ahead, but let's go back to this hall. And this is the hall where we're going to place the clearly pregnant goats, especially as they start getting further along. This is about half the size of the initial large goat house. But this is for the pregnant does. This is where they'll stay at least for the later part of their pregnancies and probably going to labor in this hall. But the aim will be to separate the doe in labor and move her into that compartment if we can identify when she's in labor, which we should if the workers pay attention to the animals. But if we don't get the dough on time and she delivers in this hall, then we'll move her and the baby there for the first few hours so that they can bond and the kids can get cleaned by the mother and maybe have the first go at obtaining colostrum. Again, we have a drinking station here with a water supply on top, a basin that might need to be increased in height. Again, this is the controlling device at this part of it. We are still working on the closure and sealing the floor so that it doesn't leak. Our first test showed that there was a leak, so we're going to fix it today, hopefully. Again, this is the maternity room, which initially might be occupied by the box when they've done their job. So we're coming back to the entrance again. This drainage channel just goes down to the end of the building. All right, let's look at where the wind kits will be placed. Our plan will be to keep the bucklings on this side, and then the dwellings on that side. I mean, we can flip space. Which side we can flip, which side, it just depends on what happens. I'm going to go by experience. All right, so I'm on the land bridge, walking over to the dwelling hall. Again, this is the foot bath that is under construction. We'll have antiseptics here, antiseptic solution for the workers to step in before they step into the hall. It's also going to be connected by a channel to drain out. This design kind of came in late, so I'm still thinking of where to channel the wastewater from washing of the floor. We're going to position a gate here after the basin, and you can spy my control valve for the drinking basin, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Again, we've put in 5 coaches of restraining wall, hoping that the kids will not jump across, especially the aggressive box or bucklings coming from this other side. If it happens, then we'll have to put in a wire mesh. Or I might just go ahead and, it just occurred to me, I might just go ahead and put in a wire mesh to separate this room from this. Because when those bucklings will come on heat, I'm quite sure they do heroic deeds. Okay, so again, water trough, tap water supply, which I put up high because goats will try to chew everything. I hear goats chew plastic. Alright, so that's the hall for the bucklings. Now taking a peek at, okay, sorry, this is the hall for the dwellings. Taking a peek at the hall for the bucklings. Again, drinking trough. The feed trough will be built separately. It's going to be movable. So the same arrangement. So out we go to get another view of the goat house from this other side. So that's the restraining wall I told you about. We have one at the entry, and then this will be this again to help reduce problems with bioterrorism. We did a rough block wall to build the stairs, and now we are putting a scaffold to pour a concrete slab on the stairs. That to make them stronger. So this is another view. Bucklings on the left, dwellings on the right. And one last look at the goat house, definitively. Let's go to the back of the goat house to show you the drainage tiles. Okay, these are waste management tanks. It's called a septic tank here in Nigeria. All right, so here we are with the plumbing. We have a water supply valve. We also have the wastewater pipes draining from all the water troughs. We're going to build what we call a collecting chamber here. There is also going to be a collecting chamber here. I'm a little bit concerned about the sanitary issues involved with housing waste pipes close to the drinking water pipes. Issues with cross-contamination in case there's a leak. But it's already built, and we're going to evolve somehow and get it right. So this is the anatomy of a modern goat house based on my interpretation of all literature which I reviewed before building this. If you have any comments, I'll appreciate them. Any helpful hints, I'll appreciate them, but I've tried to give you a comprehensive view. And then when we start stocking the goods, I hopefully should provide an update. Provide an update of the building with the goods in place, and then any lessons we have already learned, and any modifications we need to make in a future good house or this particular good house. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more updates. Thank you.